Okay, cool. And I was just thinking about,
But yeah.
I found the outreacher outline process that we had made. Let me see if I could share that right now. Um, so we would, because it's much easier to be able to talk to people when you have kind of, a sense of like, where am I? And those like flow charts with like, if I say this, do people do that? And so this is kind of what we had. And with us, we would do something similar, but we would go cash first, or we would actually at least mention cash, but our main objective is to get it creative. And so if you want,
Hmm.
I'll see if I can revise this if anyone thinks that it's useful at all. Um,
Yeah. No, just if you could just send, I don't know how you would send that, but at least.
cool. Yeah, I'll see if I can make something like this, and we'll dive a little deeper, and I'll bring on some of the closers that helped me make this another time. But yeah, what one thing is like our goal is to close the agent on the idea of a call with the next person. So for us,
Right. Yeah.
exactly. So that's where the closers come in, where you're like, you just want to introduce it, but we don't know the intricacies. So we can just put to the closer, which is over here, we called it the acquisitions manager. So it sounds a little more formal to the agent. But we're not trying to sell them on creative financing or seller financing or sub two because we're not there yet. We're not closers and we don't want to, confuse the agent. So that's like the whole thing. It's just
Yeah. Yes.
like
Yeah.
agent is totally fine. Just let's get you on a call with our acquisitions manager and just this may not be good or this may not be a fit for your seller. But just learn about this right now so that you can keep it in your back pocket for any other situations that may, fit.
You bet.
Hello,
Yeah.
hey guys, how
Yeah.
you doing today?
Doing well.
What's happening?
We're going over something we had made for direct to agent outreach.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, take go through it. I'm just getting my tea, and I'll be there just a sec.
Cool. So, and then, so these are just like quick advice, spend a lot of time on the motivation and really building the rapport. You want to ask open-ended questions, not just yes or no questions for these agents to talk. When people start to talk more, automatically they just want to open up a little more. So being able to learn what questions those are perfect. Um, and then be transparent as well. Like you don't have to be or pretend to be an expert. I'm not saying that you're not Bob, but for others, if somebody asks you a question, and you're like, I'm a little company, so I don't know, and I don't want to make sure that and I want to make sure I don't give you incorrect advice. But what I can do is get you in touch right here with my acquisitions manager who can help you for that question, maybe other ones that you may have. Okay, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what we didn't use. We didn't use the acquisition that manager
it just sounds
time. It sounds better done.
right. Yeah. So take anything here that you think is good as well. And another thing that one of the closers that helped make this implemented, he said you want to be the one asking questions. Um, that kind of means that you're in control. You don't want you want it's like you want to be interviewing, you don't want them to be interviewing you. So if you're asked a question, figure out a way to answer and then immediately ask another question. Or instead of answering just like as a statement, make your answer into a question. So if somebody's um I can't think of a question right now. It'll probably be in here. But one of them, which a lot of people do, is like, oh, they get asked a question, and then you can immediately go like, well, why do you ask that? Is that something that you're thinking about? Like if somebody's like, well, am I going to have to pay a huge bill in capital gains tax? Then you can go like, well, is capital gains something that's important to you? Like, are you trying to you get the least amount down so that you don't have to pay it? And if it's one of their, I guess, obstacles that they're trying to overcome or their objections, then they'll say, yeah, perfect. And then you can go into there. If it's not something and they're just kind of asking questions just to ask questions, then they should let you know as well. And then you're like, all right, cool, objection handled, move on. Well, like, what's your actual real question? So the way that we would start this is generally this started kind of with a cold call, but I think it could be the same with kind of like a soft offer with that LOI. Um,
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Soft offer. Yeah.
Perfect. So hey,
Soft low ball offers.
boom, that's
Get
great.
them in. It has to be low, not too high. Don't want them too excited.
But yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. So for us,
Yeah.
uh,
Go ahead.
we really focused on wanting to get this creative. And then if it turned into cash, then cool. But the reason we start out this way, we say, hey, agent, I or we or my company are looking to buy another rental, and I came across your listing on 123 Main Street. I have a couple questions. And then, is now a bad time? And that's like the first thing to start off with. Rentals, so they know exactly that what you're looking for. It's not just like, hey, I came across your listing. And then they're like, okay, are you trying to buy it to live in it? Are you going to be a fix and flipper? Like, what is the deal? So you're already kind of giving them that promise up front. And then the now a bad time thing is from Chris Voss's I forget what it is. But Chris Voss's book, he was an FBI negotiator, and this is kind of a pattern interrupt. And I'm sure that there's more to it, but that's the only thing that I remember where instead of saying, "Hey, is now a good time?" Everybody says that. You want a pattern interrupt. Hey, is now a bad time? Which of your children's your favorite? Do you pee in the shower? Those kind of things, or somebody will go like, "Wait,
Yeah.
yeah," and then it'll kind of reset everything. Um, and then here's just the question we start off with to build some of that rapport. So it's open-ended. So hey, now a bad time? No, it's not bad at time. Cool. Great. Like I said, we're looking for a rental. Want to see if this property will qualify for something that we're looking for. And by this time, like if somebody answered the phone, I would have it pulled up on like Zillow or something. So like, okay, cool. I see some of the photos. Is there anything there that I'm not seeing? Um, so that will open up the conversations for them to be like, oh yeah, either there's additional things that are awesome or there are things that, maybe aren't as great. And then you just keep asking questions. In your professional opinion, do you think this would be a good rental? Well, can you tell me about the HOA? And you start getting like, okay, are they going to allow short-term rentals or just long-term? And then even getting feedback as well. So some people, they would ask like, how have the showings been? Have you gotten many offers? So you start getting a sense of, the
Mhm.
feedback from outside the actual. And then like this. So this introduction, ask if now is a bad time, ask only a few questions to start, now move on to motivation and dig deeper. So start talking about the properties. Hey, um, it looks great in the pictures, but I see it's been on the market for however long. It's been on the market for 35 days. Why do you think they haven't sold it so far? Is there something wrong? Or like, why are they wanting to sell it? Are they okay with it sitting on the market this long? Um, and again, going into more into that and trying to get more of the motivation because we're not just trying to buy this house and sell it and wholesale it or keep it. We're trying to how we can help the sellers. And you want to know the bunnies so that you can, and maybe it doesn't have to be like such pure hearted, like, I'm just here to serve people. But it is like, I'm here to solve a problem. And I want to know what that problem is so that I can give you the solution that we know of. Any questions?
No, it's great. So yeah. So hopefully I can get that. I'm trying to capture it on screen, but it's fine.
Oh, you're
Um,
fine. I'll be sharing this. So
okay.
I just didn't realize that we still had it. This is perfect.
Well, amazing that you got it that fast
Yeah.
too.
Did you
Within
prepare this,
within
Jada?
seconds.
Yeah, I had made this with a couple other people when I was working with Brad and Andrew on the wholesaling team earlier this
Nice. Now
yeah.
this is amazing.
Yeah, we went through this a lot. And then here's where we went into kind of the soft pitch where, you know, like you were saying, you do a low ball cash. So yeah, we buy cash, we buy homes X, Y, and Z way, cash, traditionally, non-traditionally, and then start disqualifying cash. So normally we would bring in our own financing, but either, if we're bringing our own financing, we'd be around 60% of the asking price. Say that, but you can quickly calculate it and say we'd be around this price, um, or like I don't even want to say what we'd be around because I don't want you to feel like we're gonna hit you with a low ball offer. And then you start disqualifying traditional. And with today's rates, it's just not gonna work out if we're trying to get a rental and we have like 8% or 7% from the bank or whatever it may be. And then now you tee up the non-traditional. So now you tee up the sub two or the seller financing. And go like, yeah. And so because of these ways with these cash offers having to be low, because that's the only way it's going to work with us as investors, and we can't work with the banks because that's just interest rates are tanking everything. We've been buying properties with some non-traditional means. There's a couple different ways that we've been doing this. And why I favor the non-traditional means lately, or why I think we've been able to be successful with this lately, is because we've been able to get purchase properties at the asking price that sellers are wanting, and even take care of the seller and the agent, and blah blah blah. So then you start talking, and you always also included a third party story Google Sheet, because you always want to put a third party story. That's how things cement my. You can say of ethereal kind of analysis, and people can kind of grasp what sub two is, but kind of like Pace, when he brings a story, when he says the rabbits or the F-150 story, you're like, oh, okay, I understand what seller financing is, or solving someone's problems with the rabbits. And so that's where earlier, when you get to the motivation, you want to understand why they're selling the house, what their timeline is, so that you know which third party story you can bring up.
Got it.
Yeah. And then from there, there's just a little more, and it's kind of we're teeing it up or sending it off to the closer. Do you think your seller is interested in something like this, or do they want the house to continue sitting? And then if they're like, yeah, we're totally open to it, then like perfect. Next step in our process is to set up a call with you and our acquisitions manager. They're available, or will you be available Monday at 2 p.m. or Wednesday at 3 p.m. or something? So we would like to give them two options, and we're not going to say when works best for you. It's like, no, these are the two options that I know the acquisition manager is open. For us, we had their calendar, so that's why we could do it. I don't know about your process.
And we do too. So that's
Perfect.
perfect.
And then if the agent was really persistent on like, well, just email me an offer, or just email me this, or just do this. Like, I don't really want to get on the phone. Like, just send me what you have with this offer. I may be interested a little more. Granted, we didn't have the LOI beforehand, but something that we would tell our outreachers is like to stick to your guns. Like, no, the next step in our process is to have you talk to our acquisitions manager. So if you think that this is a good fit, and if you want to get this sold for your seller and to make you some money, our next step would be to talk to the acquisitions manager. So again, when are you available? And then, yeah, and this, we didn't really go through too much. There were some objections. I can say I'll try to revise this, but honestly, I will probably not. So this is something.
No, don't. No. You've shared way more than I expected, man. Thanks.
But yeah, if anybody has any questions or any feedback on this, feel free to.
We can
Guys,
chat.
that
Yeah,
was
we can
that
chat
was
in
a
the
master class, by the way. Okay, you guys,
mm,
you have no idea how much it takes to build that kind of document. I'm trying to build documents in my company, and I have to. I mean, I've been at it 2 years, and I don't think they are complete. This document is a lot of work. It takes a lot of, I mean, you think it's just a document and someone has just typed it up, 2 pages, but it's a lot more than that. It's more than 2 pages for sure, first. And second is, a lot of thought goes into it. A lot of times you start typing the document, then you go back then you experiment, then you change the thought process, you improve it. So much work goes into it that it takes a while to build a solid document like this. Okay. So, I mean, I wanted to start. I'll give you a story about how Underwriting Power Hour came about. Okay. Underwriting Power Hour was something I have been wanting to do myself because I consider myself, again, I started my career in real estate very differently. But when I met Pace and Pace put me on his platform as an underwriter, I saw the response people get. And I started realizing, okay, this is probably my superpower. And if I want to make a bigger impact and help people, I think this is my calling. Okay. This is what I've been looking forward to. And when I met Jada, I really felt like she's that another person like me who has found her calling to help people. So that's how we started this together. And more than me, Jada actually helps bring people together. Uh, I just do the talking. Talking is easy. It's already in me. I don't have to do extra work. But Jada is putting so much work into this. Okay, she is the mastermind behind what topics to discuss. She's the one who tells me, Chai, you need to prepare this and come with this. Okay, so she's my, other half in this. She's the one who is really making this happen. I really, really want you guys to make a post and thank Jada, okay, for making this Underwriting Power Hour happen. We want to make this Power Hour bigger. We both came together with one vision to help people only. Of course, anytime anybody helps anybody, it comes back 10 times. Okay. I'm not saying I'm doing this with the business intent in mind, but I know I'm going to get a lot of business out of this. There is no denying that. So a lot of people get caught up with this idea that, okay, these people must be helping other people because they get lot out of it. Yes, we get a lot out of it. There is nothing wrong in wanting or getting things out of something you're doing with no expectations. Okay. We are not pushing anybody to come to this. We are trying to add organic, most genuine, authentic value in all of your lives. And that's the only intent. Yes, we are going to find 10 different ways to monetize this. And that's how business is run. Okay. But the value comes first. Okay. If there is no value, there is no business. If I cannot add value to y'all's lives, you're not going to come to this call. You're not going to buy any products I have to offer ever, because you need to believe that I am a genuine person and I'm not going to screw you in the process of doing business. So with that being said, I really, really want you guys to make a post about anything you learned about today's masterclass that Jada just, casually dropped. Okay. Please make a post about that. Thank Jada. It is amazing how casually she just dropped so much value. And if you request her nicely, I think she is going to send you that document that she, I don't know, put 100 hours building. But please do that. And we would love to answer any questions you guys have and underwrite any live deals you guys are doing. Remember one thing before we start taking the deals. We are on December the 14th. What happens on December 14th? Remember, middle of December, not December 14th exact. Middle of December, 90% of the America is putting themselves or forcing themselves in vacation mode. Okay. They are no longer working. They don't want to be working. So who is winning in the last part of December? Is the people who are actually building their strategy and planning to win. So if you have time, if you are someone who is starting, this is your time. So in business, you always have to track these market cycles. Okay. And there is always opportunity in the market. Okay. Whenever there is like, whenever you're at the top of the cycle, you need to learn when that dip is coming. Okay. And plan for the dip. And when you're at the bottom, you need to plan for the top. Okay. So December 14th, we are going down in terms of activity in the market. Okay. So if you are one of those people who are actually active in the latter part of December, you are going to get all the deals. Okay. So do not forget that. This is very crucial time. It's not just December. It goes into January, middle of January. Usually the gyms get busier end of January through February. People make their New Year resolution on December 31st that I'm going to start working out, but they don't go to the gym until February 1st. So if you go to the gym or to your computer or to your telephone, you are going to be already doing deals when people are just starting up. So if you don't play these ninja tricks, or if you don't implement these ninja tactics in your business, you're not gonna, you're not gonna uh, go like above average. You're not gonna deliver above average results. Okay. And like I always say, you don't get rich slow. This just doesn't work like that. So remember these basic principles. You don't wait for someone's feedback. Don't wait to find what other people are doing to do what you should be doing. Okay. Do what you naturally feel is the right thing to do without screwing anybody. Okay. And if you cannot find anything, the best thing to do is help other people with what you know. The other people automatically come and help you. Like this effort is for Jada and I understand marketing. Jada understands, I understand underwriting. Jada knows marketing and promotion. We are going to teach you for free. Come here, ask any questions. We have 1 to 2 hours of our time blocked for you guys. But when you come here, Armando, Patrick, you guys bring deals. Okay. What am I looking for? Deals. What is Jada looking for? You have that. You are looking for those buyers. You are looking for those lenders. We are those lenders and buyers. So just use your strengths. Don't wait for that magic nugget or golden nugget. There is no such thing. You start with what you have. Play with the cards you're dealt. So with that being said, let's move on to our. Do we have a deal, Jada, today to
Do
look
we?
at?
Right now, I'm not too sure. I know I had some people that had said they were going to send something, and they are not here. Does anyone
All right. Anybody? Type 1 in the chat if you have an active deal you are working on. If you don't have a deal, we are going to talk about any deal you have.
Armando, you're going live.
Marvin, Armando, talking to you guys. Sammy.
Aaron,
Hey guys, can you
There
hear
you
me?
go. Mario, what's going on with you? Sorry we didn't get a chance to chat the other day, but we can chat now if you are comfortable chatting with 18 other people.
Shy. No, I'm comfortable.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I had a meeting with the mayor like I usually do.
Oh, wow.
We picked up 6 properties.
Ooh.
Yeah, you guys can play around with Crexy or whatever the hell. I go to the mayor and we get the deals directly from them. They identify the projects, what they want on each project. So we looked at, and we have now It's around 300 million. So we'll put offers in them. So, I agree with you guys that we should be working now. Everybody else is taking off now between now and Christmas, and this is a great time to pick up deals. You know, I don't know why anybody doesn't want to work on the weekend. I had a
Isn't
realtor.
it fun to work when deals are just pouring down on you?
Well, I mean, it's easy because the mayor, what I identified was I looked in the town, I said, look, I can bring you $100 billion of capital to bring to the the apply in this town. I brought 6 guys who work in the town, and I said to the mayor, I said, identify the projects that have been eyesores for you. He gave me 6 of them, and we looked at it. 4 of them are privately owned by other investors, and the other 6 are owned by the town.
So where are you from, Mario?
I'm out of New York,
You're out of New York. What part of New York?
Westchester.
Westchester. Okay. And okay,
I'm
I'm
right
not
near the
familiar with the
Clintons.
whole
I
New
don't
York, but is
know.
it upstate or where is it?
No, I'm 42 minutes north of New York City. I worked in New
Oh,
York
okay.
City.
Okay, I see.
So I'm
Westchester County or Westchester like a
Westchester
town?
County. I'm out of right near the Clintons. Well, I owned the house before they did. They moved in. So you can't pick your neighbors, as I say. So there you go.
So you're saying that you are talking to the mayor and the county is going to fund these deals?
Yeah. Well, what
Oh
I
my
do,
gosh.
well, I go to, I don't know what you guys, how your model was. I go to hedge fund guys. I go to mayors. So I go to each town. And right now I'm in Boston. So I went to Boston. So I have the mayors of 6 different towns. And what I do is identify 19 assets are non-performing, offer them the opportunity to work with us. I have a team that can build anything. We can build anything in the commercial arena up to 11 floors or more. So,
No, that is amazing.
yeah,
So what are you going to do with these projects?
we're gonna buy and hold them.
Are
So the
these
town,
commercial, I'm guessing?
huh?
They're commercial, I'm guessing.
Well, I
Or
mean,
these are
I do it
residential.
differently. My problem, I don't like the commercial industry the way I come from a mortgage background. I didn't like the way the commercial people who want to be my partners do it. We save up a shitload of money to buy one asset, wait 18 months to complete it, and then you do an FHA. So I do it differently. I go to the mayor, identify the projects. We go in and say to the mayor, we're not going to fight you on the purchase price, but hold paper until we complete the project. So like there's one project that's 600,000. Instead of spending 3 loans, which is a $600,000 acquisition, a 400,000 rehab or $1 million rehab loan, that's the second loan, and then a third for just in case kind of loan. You're running 3 simultaneous loans where you're not getting any money. So what I do to the mayor is I say, look, I'm going to put a bid on these 6 offers worth they're probably worth 100 million each altogether. And when we complete it, it'll be worth like 600 million. So what we do is we buy it, we put it, rehab it, they pay for the renovation cost. So I save on all 3 loans, and then in completion, I'll take a $600,000 asset that I agreed to buy it for, and I produced a $2.6 million return on it. So I already created a $2 million profit margin before we close.
Wow. So is it possible we can build an underwriting, like you and I can sit down, build
Yeah,
an
I mean, I'm a
underwriting
horrible underwriter.
spreadsheet for this and then present it to the group here and
Yeah,
maybe see if there are
yeah, I'm
anyone who
horrible
is
with
interested
underwriting.
in investing.
Yeah, I'm horrible with underwriting. So I'm always looking for people. I do a medical play, so they like my
Love it.
proposal about the medical. So they're going to donate what most people don't realize, towns will donate land
Yeah.
for a tax write-off. And then we create a medical a transition. So I'm going to take these 100 doors and revitalize it as a medical play. So we'll have 100 doors generating 2 beds and per door, 6,000 per door per day. So
Love
that
it.
generates us $1 million a month or more.
Cool.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Mario.
Yep. I mean, I didn't know that you guys do I should have known from, it's called Underwriting Power. I was told to give it to Bo, but if you guys are willing, I'll give it to you guys. And we
Yeah,
can,
no, for sure. So so just to let you guys know what I do.
Mhm.
So I started my career with buy and holds, and I have a large portfolio across Texas. And then I have been lending for last 3-4 years, using my own money, and then bank credit lines and stuff. So over the last 2 years, we really anchored down and took our lending company to the next level, and it got a lot of attention from a lot of people. One of those was Pace, and Pace's team was like raving about how amazing our business is to Pace. And then I think Pace and I met like maybe 2 times, and he asked me, and I told him about what we do, and he's like, "Oh, I have a lot of people, and I can give you so much money you can lend." And I told him, I mean, we don't need money. And that's like when you reject the biggest value like these big guys give you, that's when they are interested in you. Okay, you don't want the value I'm giving you, then what do you want from me? That's what Pace was. And I told Pace, like, you are the biggest value. We have a lot of money because we actually have like 5 banks. We have a large amounts of like credit lines with these banks. And that's when Pace was like, oh, so you have. So when this is the fun fact, and Mario can attest to this, in these communities, um, we always talk about like private money lending and go like build your network of private money lenders, raise money for your projects early on so you can do bigger deals. But what people don't talk about, and again, I understand why, like Paces communities uh, started with the whole idea that you don't use banks money because sub 2 is so great, which is, and I've bought like hundreds of sub 2s. But when you do other businesses such as lending or business buying or anything, learning how banks work and building those relationships alongside your private money relationships is so important. Because private money lender, guess what, how much are they gonna give you? Like, one investor on an average is not going to give you more than 100 or couple 100,000. But when you go to the banks, the the token size goes from $100,000 to a minimum of $5 million. Okay, I mean, if you are just starting out, your business is very small, maybe they will talk to you and tell you, okay, we'll start you off with $1 million. But when you have a established business and portfolio, the banks will start you around 3 to 5 million. Okay, but 5 is easily attainable. And then you can get one bank to agree to 5 million and sign that, take that to another local bank, and they compete with each other. They're like, oh, Sasser Bank gave you 5 million, let me give you 7 million. Okay, so that's how it works. So I mean, 5 million is equivalent to 50 private money lenders. And then that 5 million can become 12 overnight, which is 120 private money lenders. Do you know how long it takes to convince 120 people to give you 100,000 each? So this is what I was telling like Bo and these guys what we do, and Bo was raving about it, and Pace was like, we have to do this with Chai and Prakash. So we signed a partnership like earlier this year with Pace, and we've already started doing loans in that. But what Pace brings to this is even better than banks and private money and all these things, because Pace is not just an influencer. He's an active real estate entrepreneur who happens to be the top influencer in America. So that together has so much marketing power behind it. And forget about marketing power, the connections it brings. Okay. For example, Pace is talking to Investor Lift, the number one platform to disposition properties, where our partnership will be listed as the preferred lender. Do you know how many people buy Investor Lift properties every day? It's insane. So those are the things that happen when you, and we like told Pace we don't want the money, and we started giving him the loans. We offered our credit lines that we could make full 100% profit on. I offered it to Pace for free. Okay. But I know what that does. Like, it shows my sacrifice, it shows my loyalty, it shows that, it goes on to show that I understand business. I understand how relationships are built. And this underwriting power hour and my relationship with Jada is a great testament to the fact that we both are on the same page. We both want to deliver free, genuine, authentic value. Okay. So I don't know why I started telling you about our business, but this is how you need to look at, like, building relationships with bankers, with key strategic people. Okay. So just like Pace is a strategic relationship for me, Jada is also a strategic relationship for me. Okay. Jada and Pace are at completely different stages in their lives. Okay. But they are equally strategic for completely different reasons. Okay. So identify those, go after it, and do not, like, lone wolves don't last. Okay. You have to find collaboration. There is no other way in this business. So let's look at a, so I think Marvin had a deal. Am I right, Marvin?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. I actually just wanted to talk about the park, the RV park, and
The one in
Alvin.
Alvin, am I right?
Yes, you remember that one?
Yeah, I think it was a great looking RV park, but what did you end up
So
with?
it honestly, I feel like the brokers, because it was a buyer's agent that I was mainly speaking to, and I kind of feel like they were holding it back because they weren't really familiar with creative. Um, but it's off market now, like the listing expired. I've been trying to contact the owner, but they either don't answer. It's just been really hard to get them. So basically, that's where I'm at with it. I was saying, are you like, you're
Okay.
local to Houston, right?
Yeah. I mean, I
Right.
know that area very well. It's a good RV park.
Okay.
But I would like to know, like, if there is any, is there any seller finance to it, or I can't remember.
So he was saying there was a loan that had to be paid off, with like about $1 million that had to be paid off, but he was open to financing the rest of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was the price tag again?
It was right around 2.
What do you remember the name of it?
The
Or you have a
park
link
was,
I can pull up so everyone can see?
yeah, I emailed it. It should still be in the same email address.
Yes,
What's,
you're right. You did. Let me check.
I was also thinking if you're ever nearby there, maybe just stop by and see. I would
Yeah, I
do it if
mean,
I was
I don't
local.
mind stopping by. I think it's not that far.
Yeah, because I can't get them on the phones. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. You all see my screen?
Yeah.
East to west.
It's the Palms. Yeah, Palms RV Park now.
No, is one of these this one?
Well, so I can't.
Yeah, this is a really nice looking park. Look at this. And what was the price tag total? I think you had it here. They want 1.5 for it.
No, it's the
Oh, sorry,
one below that.
2.15.
2.1. Yeah.
Added all of the cabins in 23. Okay. Currently being self-managed, but there are 22 RV pads, 9 cabins. Occupied with RVs owned by the park. In the sale recently. Okay, I'm gonna try to connect with them. But yeah, it's a great opportunity. I think you had financials, so let's look at them. Okay, so the net operating income is around 200,000 for 2022, which is 10 cap. 23 totals went down. We have to find out why. It's 153,000 if you can't see it. And then 24 financials for the 6 months. NOI 110. So it's back up. So it's around 220 annualized. We need to see where they've reached. So if it's 220 and it's selling for 2.15, there is a good chance because it's a 10 cap. Do you guys, who doesn't understand cap rate? Please type 1 in the chat. 1, like this. I don't mind repeating it on every call, okay? But I want you guys to be, oh, sorry, it's type 1 in the chat if you do not understand what cap rate means. Cap rate. Okay, so you guys all know cap rate, or some of you are not paying attention. Okay, I'm gonna repeat it anyways. Okay, so the 6 monthly, okay, net operating income or NOI as stated here, NOI for the first 6 months of 2024 is 110,000. What is NOI? What does NOI mean? NOI means all the collection, okay, all the collections, including rental income, laundry income, Coke machine, utility reimbursement, deposits, all kinds of stuff that is considered income. Total is 140,000 minus all the expenses, including taxes and insurance, but excluding the mortgage payment. You do not consider mortgage payment as an expense. It is considered as debt service. Income minus expenses equals to net operating income. Net operating income is something you will take home if you own that piece of property free and clear in cash. Or if you purchased it in cash, which means it's free and clear of any other liens on the property. That means you purchase, that means you don't have a debt service on this property. and debt service is basically your mortgage payment. So if you don't have debt service or mortgage payment, then any income minus expenses is net operating income for you to take home. Hope that's clear. And then that net operating income, what percentage of your original investment in cash you made to purchase that property equals to cap rate. Percentage of not percentage of, sorry, net operating income. What percentage of your total investment you made in cash to purchase that entire asset equals to cap rate. For example, the yearly net operating income on this piece of property is 220,000. And if I pay 2.15 million plus closing cost, let's say 2.2 million, to purchase a piece of property, that's going to make me 220,000 per year. That is 10% of my original investment. That is cap rate. Okay. So why do I need to know cap rate? One, because if you know me, I'm going to buy anything and I'm going to go to the bank and put a note on it. And you should too. You should not be holding assets without a lien on it. Why? Because if I'm making 10% on this asset, and if my bank requires me to pay them interest of 7%, then I can take all the money that I invested in cash from the bank and go and use that money to do other deals and still make the spread of 3%. Because the bank only takes 7% and I'm making 10%. So the smartest thing to do is not to hold this asset in cash and be cash poor and not be able to do any other deals. The smartest thing to do is go to the bank, get 70% cash out, which is 1.4 million, and go do other deals and keep the 3% instead of the whole 10%. Okay, so that's the play here. And maybe when you go to the bank will look at this asset and they will say, holy shit, this actually is worth 3 million. So they will give you 2.1 million instead of 1.4. So you just got all your money out. And it happens every day, for me at least. So that's how you look at deals. That's why this deal is good. That's why Marvin's been like on it for last, I don't know, 4 months. So again, if it's not selling, there must be something about it, then we need to find out. Maybe these numbers are not as like correct or whatever may be. We'll find out. But yes, this is a good deal on paper, Marvin, for sure. Joe, what was your question? John, sorry.
Hey, so I have a couple questions. Earlier,
Yeah.
you mentioned lines of credit based on your portfolio. How
Yeah.
large of a portfolio do you need in order to get a line of credit with a major bank?
So I have probably over 25 million in portfolio.
Hmm.
Again, portfolio and credit lines don't completely go hand in hand, or they almost never do, honestly. The reason portfolio is important is to get you in the door. Portfolio shows that you are sophisticated. Okay. Because my portfolio is not just a portfolio. I've seen portfolio of people that have hundreds of properties and they are, I mean, maybe there is like 100 houses in the community and they have an office in the front and they are in that office every day collecting cash and not paying taxes and doing all kinds of creative things that they think are creative and cool. but really what they're missing out on is they're not paying their taxes to Uncle Sam. So they are never building a business on paper. They have a business and they are the only employee in that business. And because of that, it's not a business. It's their like 24/7 job. And on paper, there is no business because they've been collecting payments in cash. So, and then they are reporting, filing losses for whatever they are reporting. So when they take this to the bank, banks are going to see that piece of paper and then throw it out the window in the next minute. So for you to go to the bank when you have a portfolio, make sure you do things the right way. Okay. Hire a bookkeeper. In my case, my brother was the bookkeeper and the accountant and finance controller, everything. He has his own company. Anybody needs help. And I tell this to anybody who has 3 rentals minimum. Okay. If you have 3 rental properties and have any aspirations to build bank relationships, build your business the right way, where you actually have financials. A lot of people with hundreds of properties I have seen haven't even heard of the word financials. And that is the first word that's going to come out of your banker's mouth when you go and sit in front of them. And make sure you look like what you want to become when you go there. So going back to your question, your portfolio is not equivalent to the credit line you are making. Your portfolio is just I mean, it's a big piece of it, of course, but that needs to be wrapped in a wrapping paper with nice like packaging. You yourself need to be looking presentable. On paper, it needs to look like it's making money. Okay. Because a lot of people get creative and try to avoid taxes and whatnot in different ways. And on paper, it looks like shit. A lot of businesses. And a lot of people I that I meet that are like that are raving about how they are saving taxes in like social circles. Oh yeah, I don't pay any taxes. Oh, I this is like so easy. Like collect payments in cash, no problem. But for what? Like, and then they complain that, oh, this banker is mean, this banker is racist, this banker is that. And but bankers have one job to do, that make their business successful. Because guess what? Bank is a business and bankers are the largest investors. Okay, bankers are the most trusted people who have thousands and thousands of private money lenders with them, who create accounts and trust them with their money, such as you and me, and deposit all their money in their bank. So bankers are the best investors on the planet. So if bankers have problem with you, that means you have a problem to deal with in your business, because that means your goal is here and your readiness is here. That means you need to build your books, build your financials, buy a few suits in your closet and build your pitch deck of what it is that you need the credit line for. So it needs a lot of training to get bankers to receive you in there. And this is funny story, like there is no regulations, right? Like every bank is different. Like I've met owners of the banks by now, and every bank has their own philosophy. So the owners tell their bankers, look, this is what I want. Right now, we need more deposits. And because we have been giving out loans and loans and loans, and our customers haven't been putting enough deposits. So next time someone wants money from us, make sure you request a minimum of 30% deposits. Like if you need $1 million, you need to put 300,000 in the bank. So when like that can change tomorrow. That is their requirement today because that's the situation they are in. That's the business. So that's a business requirement. And people have dealt with conventional loans, DSCR loans, or something that is way more regulated that you're used to, and you compare that to your local bank, and it's not apples to apples comparison because local banks do not have to follow that type of regulations. They have different regulations. They have to be insured by FDIC, all kinds of other things. But how they vet their borrowers could be their own guideline. It's so a lot of times when you go to a banker and they don't like you, if they don't like your face, they can just tell you, I'm sorry, we don't do that type of credit lines. They'll just tell, I mean, they will just completely mislead you because they don't want you calling them 10 times a day. So approaching a banker through a reference is very, very important. So I was at this charity fashion show event yesterday because I try to build those relationships. My goal is to build $100 million lending company in the next 2 years. So for me to reach $100 million level, I need to act like $100 million person. I need to know who other $100 million people are around me, and I need to be meeting them. So, and these people come to these type of charity events. A lot of these charity events and business go hand in hand. Just like this underwriting power hour is a free value to a lot of people, but when they come together, they end up doing business with each other. Same thing. So don't get confused or don't get carried away by the propaganda that, oh, there must be something in it for him or her to do this. Yes, there is nothing wrong. Giving and receiving are equally okay. There is nothing wrong. Again, if I'm giving you something with the expectation, if I tell you the answer to your question and I'm expecting you to pay me $200 an hour, then it is a business, but that needs to be completely disclosed upfront. I cannot answer the question and just expect out of nowhere for you to pay me something. Okay. So a lot of people get completely confused with these type of scenarios. So same way, I lost my train of thought about banks. Why? Oh, sorry. The relationship I was trying to mention. I was at this gala. Okay, I was at this charity event, and someone really reputed invited me there, and I'm actively trying to build relationship with them. They are trying to buy a hard money lending company that is going bankrupt, and they want my help. That's why they invited me to their table. And on that table, there were three other hard money lenders for them to build their authority over me, showing me that you're not the only one I'm looking at as a partner. So this is how things are done. And then on that same table, there was a banker with Mint Bank in Houston who happens to do these credit lines. If I approached that banker and if I mean, I've tried this. I walked into the banks. Okay. Oh, I'm this badass entrepreneur. He's like, okay, I've heard that 100 times before. So get out of here. But now that I was on that table sitting next to him, he's like, oh yeah, you're a hard money lender. Oh, you're Shale's friend. So is my friend's name is Shale. Your Shale friend? Oh yeah, great. Yes, I'll meet you on Thursday. We can start you off with 3 million without even no financials required, nothing. So going back to the portfolio question, portfolio is great. It gets you in the door, But guess what? My business does not need my portfolio to back me, because I'm originating loans on a piece of property, and that property itself is a collateral to that note. So when I get bank's money, I just give them that same property that I used as a collateral. I just pass that collateral on to the bank using a vehicle called a launch. Okay. A launch is very similar to deed of trust, but it acts slightly differently. Okay. Don't worry about that. It's not important knowledge right now. But if you ever needed one, we are gonna do maybe like a 2-day event next year. Jada and I will break down all these fancy words for you.
Oh, I just bought one
But
for my mom.
what is that?
I bought one for my mom a couple months ago. A note.
A note? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
yeah.
goes like when you have that portfolio, when you have that sophisticated front, okay. I mean, I recommend you should be sophisticated front and back, but a lot of people are not ready to convert their back uh, into a sophisticated uh, uh, s- I'm sorry, into a sophisticated like a or back office or whatever you call it. But you can at least show that you're sophisticated. Like start there. So that's my point. Like you need to really like prepare. So when I do these calls, I mean, I've been doing these calls last 3-4 years with Pace and like Pace's community. So when I sit here, I don't need to prepare anything. I don't need to prepare what I'm gonna say, because I say these things every day in my business. So I'm just sharing the same with you guys. But when I had a deal north of Dallas, I raised money for this year. So that deal, we had a full-blown presentation to like bunch of investors. We had 100 people show up on our like first call, and I was like, "Oh, I'm good at this. I got this." But I bombed so bad that I had to redo the presentation in order to send links out, because I was like, "Oh my God, I needed to prepare this. I don't know this." Because multifamily, I know underwriting, but when you present a deal, the amount of preparation that goes into it, I mean, I underestimated it. So same way, I'm telling you, 99% people underestimate the preparation that goes into presenting yourself to the bank. And it's not just like, I'm going to show you something real quick. Don't share this like with the general public.
This is being live streamed.
Okay, so this is our company's business plan overview. Okay, so this is 11-page document that I created. So now I also know that it takes a long time for someone to read 11 pages. So I also converted this document into a video using AI. So if you go to that length to show a banker that you really mean business, that's when they are going to respect you. Our tenure, our background, what I've done in college, in my corporate world, who is Pace Morby, why I'm partners with him, who is Javed, who is Kinjal, our CPA, all kinds of things, and how it's all coming together. So this is what we do. This is what you have to do. This is what professional means. I also love to show people. This is what I really take pride in. Okay. Oh, sorry.
Got me excited. I want to see the numbers.
So these are all our clients. This is my company. And by the way, my brother's bookkeeping and accounting firm, they specialize in real estate, all forms of real estate and all types of strategies, creative, sub to hybrid, seller finance, wraps, reverse mortgage, like reverse seller carry, Morby method, if you know that, all kinds of things that are weirdly creative, make a lot of money. That's what we specialize in, because I do all of those. Conventional mortgages, I have hard money loans. I mean, this entity doesn't really do it, but I've had it before. Seller finance, subject to wholesale assets. So all this is my portfolio. So everything is well organized. All the numbers match to the penny. This is what I take pride in. So when bankers see this is what they want to see. I'll tell you that for sure. This is what a banker likes to see. So great question, by the way, John. I love to answer that question. And this also gave me a chance to build my thoughts. Next time someone asks that question, I'm gonna be prepared.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
How
Thank you.
how to go about getting a credit line from the bank. So sometimes you go build relationships and listen to two people in your business career the most. Okay, brokers and bankers, because they want to do business with you. They want you to be successful. They are actually almost the only few people that are in your team, on your team. So a lot of times you don't need this education from me. Okay, most of the world is doing fine without Chai educating how to be bankable. And because the bankers will educate you on how to be bankable. But what I like to show people is, if you're prepared, if you already know how to be bankable, then you just go 10 times faster. Because what's going to happen, and Mario, tell me if I'm wrong here. When you go to the banker, they are going to like give you a run around couple times. You're going to go home. You're going to be like, okay, let's try. Some bankers will tell you upfront, hey, come next year. Let's see how it looks next year. Then you're going to be like, okay, let's go next year. So next year is like, let me talk to my manager. Let me do this. 6 months will go by. And then another year will go by. So, but bankers will see that persistence in you, and they will value the good businessman inside you, and they will let that businessman grow first before they invest. So they will work with you, they will educate you, and a lot of times that's how things go forward. But if you are here on this call today, I can show you how to cut that learning curve in half, or like less than that. So that's the whole idea. So always listen to these recommendations. My banker literally gave me a lot of shit last time when we were meeting the owner of the bank and I didn't have my suit on. I just made up a reason because I was going to go to India in the next couple of days. I told him, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My suits are packed, and I'm going for a wedding to India." He's like, "Are you leaving in few hours?" I was like, "No, that was a lie." He just saw right through it. So, but again, so they will teach you. They will see the good side of you, but again, be more prepared than that. Yes, Mario.
I was curious. You go after, see, I'm a mortgage banker by trade for 19 years.
Oh,
So
nice.
I can't stand talking to bankers. They're idiots. So,
Because you are a lot more experienced than them now.
well, yeah. So, I mean, I go after hedge fund guys. So you go
Nice.
after banks. That's interesting. I'll go to a
Not
town
true,
and
not 100% true. I'm also talking to hedge fund managers and stuff, but
okay.
we are at level 1. You are at like level 5.
No,
So
it's just I'm used to
so
hedge
we
fund
have to
guys.
cross the $20 million range in
Yeah.
note our loan book. We are getting there almost. After that, the next stage is hedge funds
Yeah, because hedge fund
or
guys to
commercial
me,
banks. Yeah.
they're more realistic. Um, I have two billionaires who are made their money in hotels. So I have them get me all the different hotels of the different when I'm looking for funding. But talking to like you're right. I mean, if you can't go in with jeans and a t-shirt and you got to wear a monkey suit to talk to a banker,
Yeah.
I don't want to work with them. I would agree with you. I mean, on that. It was just curious. So that raises the question because I didn't know it's only 20 million to buy a bank. So my business plan is to be a bank by the end of this year, beginning next year.
Nice.
So, if we do that and become my own family office. So that's $100,000 for family office. I don't hear you use corporate credit. You don't like doing that?
We are working that angle right now. Haven't really, I mean,
Oh,
just
we got to talk
tied
because
up. Yeah,
I
I mean,
have some ideas.
we still have to sit on that call to you and I to discuss
Yeah,
those
because
things.
to me, corporate credit's the way I do it. I grab a whole bunch of assets, put it. My theory is I will be a bank by the end of the year so that I can do LP positions on all assets. And then with an LP position, we're controlling let's say a $30 million thing that's worth 300 million for 30 million, which is cheap. And as a bank, we lend 10 times the amount that's we're borrowing against. So it's a good play and it attracts international money as a hedge fund company or family office. You can receive the 1031 exchange and all the money from different companies and people coming from all different countries, which is what I like to attract.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it would be fun if you and I talked
Yeah, no,
about the idea.
100%. We can, I mean,
Yeah,
I know Jada
that
was
would be
trying to
nice
set that
not to
up.
ever use. So that was funny. I could see you laugh. I could laugh watching you saying a pace. Yeah, I don't need your money. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
It's
I hear you.
yeah. I
Good
mean,
stuff. Any other
that's
questions, guys, like from anybody else?
you know,
Any deals? Armando, you're quiet. Haven't
Is-
seen you in a while.
Yeah.
What's happening, Armando?
Hey, what's up? Yeah,
So
let me just get.
fun. So Pace, our partnership with Pace, just wanted to let you and everyone know that we are starting a call with all Paces communities, one call every Wednesday at noon called Capital Catalyst. Okay. So Jada, Edith, anybody on my team, they will be part of that call as well. So please, like, and we'll try to do a 2 hour call so we can take turns and stay on the call. Any deals will not go unnoticed. And it's mainly for people to bring their deals and get funding on the spot. So I know Armando is like extreme hustler, by the way, for all of you guys. He
Thanks.
has deals going on all the time. So bring those deals on that call. There will be second position lenders available there as well. Okay. So we are going to make a post maybe tomorrow. I think Carly already made a post about it. We'll make another post, like all of us individually, so that people will know. But
Wow.
yeah, I wanted to let you know, Armando, especially because you always have these deals, and I'm not able to help you in different states all the time. But that's the call where you need to come, and that's where you will meet like second position lenders, all these. I want to so if you're in touch with Diane Oquist or anybody like, I mean, a lot of these usual suspects who are going after or finding these deals, tell them to come to that call. Okay, if you talk to them,
Yeah.
because we need one place where all the deals and the funding partners come together.
I
It will be
love
an
that.
online event every Wednesday.
Sounds great.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Sorry, Erin, you had a question?
Come back.
I'm back. So thank you for putting this on, by the way.
Of course.
I am trying to increase my capital to be able to lend out as a PML, and I'm really looking at the credit card stacking strategy. Once I start, kind of figuring out the fees for getting started and the liquidation fees, and then the 1% that you're going to be paying monthly to the credit card, things get really thin. So just wondered if there's a better way to do that, or maybe lending it is not the best disposition for funds, maybe putting that into a flip to increase the ROI. What are your thoughts on that?
To like the cash you are getting out of credit card
Right.
stacking? It's up to you what you think your superpower is. Like, it all depends on that. If you think your previous experience is with dealing with contractors, or if you have a lot of other active income and you just want to build passive wealth, then the answers are different for both these situations. But I will tell you one thing. Where are you based out of?
Idaho.
Idaho. Okay. I don't know anything about Idaho to tell you about flipping, but I can tell you one thing about the market right now, that there is going to be good deals on the market. In Houston, I know things are still moving steady, because I mean, I'm also a broker and sorry, a realtor, and we track these things even though I'm not an active realtor. The market is good in order for me to sell anything. It may not sell at the top price like 2021, but it will sell. So I'm comfortable in saying that, okay, if you are in Houston, I would flip to build more cash reserves. Okay. Be very careful with credit card stacking. I don't 100% understand that yet. But I'm sure you don't have a high, I mean, I think by credit card stacking, you get a lot of low interest money out, right?
Right.
But it's like for 18 months or something, right?
Right. And
Yeah,
I'm not
so
necessarily wanting to do flips. I started going down this road because I want to have more capital to be able to lend. But then when I start doing the economics on the lending, even if I can get a 24% ROI, once you figure in 5% to liquidate the cash from the cards, you pay the guy 8% to get started on the funding, and then you're paying 1% monthly on the not interest, but just on towards the principal of the card. Things get really
flipping,
thin.
you don't have to use credit card for flipping. That's how I'll answer your question. So the credit card money that you are getting, you can use that for lending. And whenever you lend on anything, let's say you're lending in Houston, you don't know much about Houston. If I were you, I would contact a local realtor who has done at least 50 transactions in the area where you are lending, in that zip code. And you can find those realtors pretty quickly. They are well marketed. So, and ask them what they think this house will sell for. Use 90% of that as a value for your calculation, and 70% of that 90% minus repairs is what you give that person as a loan.
Yeah.
Okay. And but for that, only thing you need to understand, Let's do this quick back of the napkin calculation.
And I understand the underwriting piece. I went through the underwriting semesters. I've got that pretty nailed down.
Correct. So if realtor told you the value is 200,000, use 180 for your calculation. Then go 70% minus 20,000 repairs. And don't use the scope that the person gave you by default. Look at the pictures and compare the scope and the pictures and see if that makes sense. I mean, if someone told you 20,000 and you see the pictures, I mean, it can go from 15 to 35. You ask them, what are you going to do in 20,000? If they give you a long, oh, I'm going to do all kitchen, all bathrooms, exterior, interior, 20,000 is not going to cut it.
No.
But if they told you, okay, I'm going to get creative with this bathroom and only do one bathroom, and I mean, if they give you the right answer, then use that number. Otherwise, use your own number. So with that, your loan amount should not exceed 106.
Gotcha.
This is also a number that you will give someone if you were to buy that property. So think about you yourself as a buyer when you are lending. So what we do, do you know Abraham? Abraham? Okay. So
Yep.
Abraham and I, so we are both lenders. So he does it completely differently. We are building a hard money company. He's putting his own money out. I think he's also trying to build bank relationships after he saw what we did. But he's like slightly behind on that side. But again, he has so much of his own money. It's not his priority. So he would only loan that. Okay. What we loan is we loan this plus rehab. So our loan amount on paper is 126. Abraham's loan amount on paper is 106. The coolest thing about our business model versus Abraham's is Abraham charges flat 18% interest, 1.5% per month. We charge 3 points on 126 and then 12.5 or 12% per on an annualized on 126. But we give out only 106. Abraham charges 18% on 106 only. So right now I have about almost over $1 million in escrow. So that 20,000 that I showed you goes into our escrow. Okay. So the borrower, as they complete work and pay their contractors, they can then come back to us and request for a draw for the amount they paid to the contractor. But while they are doing the work, while that contractor is getting paid, and while that money is still sitting in my escrow and haven't even left my bank yet, I'm making money on it.
Yeah.
It's called Dutch interest. I mean, non-Dutch. Dutch is the other way. Like I charge on the money that I sent out. So most hard money lenders are like me. Abraham is, I mean, more like a PML than a hard money lender. So that's the coolest part. So you could choose to just lend 106, or you can. So if you keep this formula, you're never going to go wrong, no matter whether it's Idaho or Houston or New York or San Francisco. But I think it's pretty easy and very safe formula. There may be certain areas where you might want to be slightly more careful because the rules are slightly different in Idaho compared to Houston. But yeah, but you will know those local flavors, so to say. So hope that answers your question. But
Yeah.
I would use the credit card thing for lending. If you had not told me that you are willing, I mean, looking to lend, I would have told you something else. But if you're looking to lend that money, then by all means lend that money, because guess what? If you want to flip a property, you can borrow money from hard money lender. You don't have to use your own money. Because you can sometimes, based on how good your credit is and things like that, Jada and I can find you a better lender than yourself. Because guess what? You want to make more money as a lender, but pay less money when you are paying your lender. So you can find a cheaper lender when you yourself get a loan. So I would do it like that. But think of flipping as more active income, a cash building mechanism versus lending is more like a business you can grow. This is what I see. Again, people have built businesses around flipping, but it's a lot more painful than lending.
Mhm.
Lending is like when you have 10 million, you have to worry about creating new loans. But when the loans are created, you just sit back, relax, and just monitor your screen every day. That's all.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
much, and people come to you. I mean, you are always in an authority position because you are an authority. Like when you are a lender, people want what you have to offer, which is money. Money is your product. So very cool question though. Yeah, very. I would do it like that.
Thank you,
Hope that
Chad.
helps.
Appreciate it.
Anybody else? Any other questions, guys? Oh, Mario, sorry. Let's see. Yes.
I guess I'm old school. Just question I would do is you're doing capital stacks of credit cards, right? Is that what your play is, Aaron? You're you're doing a whole bunch of unsecured credit cards and using stacking them.
I haven't started yet, but that
Yeah.
is what I'm kind of
Well,
looking at. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm old school. So take a look at what I like doing is I like using corporate credit, which is what I do is I'll buy a bunch of get a corporate credit against it's an asset-based loan. And then what I do is I flip it into the commercial arena and do a non-recourse loan, which means any of my assets that I leveraged money against can't be taken back, even if I made a oops and lend it to the wrong person.
So
Right.
when you say
Credit card.
corporate credit, you're talking about like people who fund your LLCs and stuff. That's what, right?
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll build a portfolio, put $1 million in on a corporate credit and get that up to 100 million. And then since it's a non-recourse loan, you're at 6% roughly, and you can lend it all day long, but you don't have to worry about it like credit cards can go up to 12 to 18%. And if you miss a payment, it ruins your credit. Corporate credit, you can lend and you can repossess the property back or the project that you gave, and it's a non-recourse.
Mhm.
Take a look at corporate credit with a non-recourse commercial line of credit. It's
Yeah,
probably a safer way,
I've
in
tried
my
to go
opinion.
after non-recourse, and I don't have the assets in that institution to get approved for doing non-recourse because they do have commercial lines out there already, but they're all
Well, get
recourse.
an equity partner.
Yeah.
First thing I did was 20 years ago, I just got 5 millionaires. One of them was Trump, and let him use his line of credit. Nobody gave a shit about me. They gave a shit about his name. Look
Yeah.
at him now.
Awesome. Thanks, Mario.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And thanks, Jada, for again, for making this happen on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Please, for everyone, if you got anything out of this, please make a post on Facebook, Instagram. It goes a long way for us. Thank Jada. Share what you learned, and we will keep bringing you even like better quality content on a regular basis. We have a Facebook group. Please join if you are not part of it already, and invite any of your friends that are interested in similar things.
Yeah.
And
And don't let Chai be so humble. Thank him too. He's the one that's getting all this bankable stuff with Aaron. I mean, I really wanted to mention something that Chai mentioned, which was why use your own money when you can use others? Because it's like the banks. So if you were to have your own funds or lines of credit, and you had one project and you put all your money in here. It's like, okay, well now you have your own money, but you only have one project going on. Rather than if you had this one project, but money and then a bank coming in, you can have the bank funding this project, and then your own money, like what Chai was telling Aaron, is now out and making money. So now you have two things going on at least. So that's just something that I want I wanted to clarify and put simply as well, because I feel like a lot of people will start just using their own funds and going down that rabbit hole of like, oh, but it's okay because I'm not paying interest or I'm not paying a partner. And it's like, sure, but also one project at a time and you're limiting yourself. And so that's what we've been seeing. That's why we've been seeing a lot more people come to us for lending, because they're starting to understand more and more of that. So thank you, everybody. I am gonna put mine and Chai's Instagram in the chat
Yeah,
as
I was just trying to find. Oh, there you go.
so if you guys if you want more of this, and if you want like tactical advice, like um if you want Chai and I to put on a whole what's it called, a mastermind on how to be bankable, and how he was saying how to present yourself to these banks and how to get these lines of credit, like let us know in the Facebook group if stuff like that is interesting and valuable to
And
you.
anything you want to discuss, feel free to drop it in the Facebook group. We can get to it as we go on these calls. That way people already know and they have built some sort of thought process behind it, and we can add some more engagement on it. So we want these Facebook groups to grow. That way there is more engagement.
And if you
And
want what I was talking about earlier with the agent outreach kind of outline, make a post so that we know. And thank you guys. Appreciate you. Next
thank
week,
you.
we're going to plan our 2025. Chai's going to lead us, and I want you guys to be successful. So let's all share it with everybody you know on the 21st of December.
Awesome. See you guys soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good rest of the week.